Tonight, the region is on high alert as Lucia volcano erupts. St. Lucians are urged to open up their homes to Vincentian evacuees. And the Duke of Edinburgh, the husband to Queen Elizabeth II, has died.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Friday, the 9th of April, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Nisha Charles, in for Lovelace and Amy Joseph. A special hello to our viewers on our free-to-air digital antenna. We know that we are your only source of news and we appreciate your positive feedback. St. Lucia is shifting into high gear as it prepares to assist St. Vincent and the Grenadines as that country experiences explosive eruptions of the Lucia volcano. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, is advising the public to remain calm, and for those in the south who may be affected by ashfall and air quality issues, to prepare. As of 8:41 a.m. on April 9th, an explosive eruption began at the Lucia volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is a culmination of the seismic activity that began on April 8th. Plumes of smoke could be seen from the dome where the explosion took place. Residents in the south of St. Lucia could also see the plumes. Ashfall has begun in that country. Prime Minister Alan Shasney has called for continued calm and has advised that St. Lucia will stay in close contact with St. Vincent authorities. The National Emergency Management Organization has been preparing to assist that country. Now that the eruption has taken place, its director, Doreen Gustav, is appealing to individuals to remain calm and to those in the south to prepare.
Shelters have been identified for persons from the south, and we are working closely with the district disaster committees if there is a need to evacuate persons to those shelters. We are also, like you said, preparing to receive evacuees from St. Vincent, as announced by the Prime Minister Gonsalves last night at his press conference. We are asking the public to remain calm as we have been preparing for a while now to manage this hazard. So let us continue to pray for and support our brothers and sisters from St. Vincent.
Arrangements have been made for evacuees that will be coming to St. Lucia.
Shelters have been identified. All measures are in place. All agencies have their plans, and we are ready to receiving the evacuees. Our shelters will operate as a quarantine shelter. As you know, persons coming in must be quarantined for 14 days. We are still in discussions with our counterparts in St. Vincent, and exact time of arrival has not been confirmed yet. So we have made preparations to receive the evacuees from St. Vincent.
The director says that the needs of the evacuees will be catered to.
So we are accommodating persons with all of their necessities for a shelter. So food, sanitizing items will be made available to those persons who are evacuating. We will hear from NEMO St. Vincent as to exactly what it is that is required of us. We do not have the details yet. What we know that those persons who were evacuated last night moved from the red zone, which is a danger zone, to a safe zone in St. Vincent. And their evacuation from St. Vincent will take place this morning.
The UE Seismic Research Center has said that explosive eruptions are likely to continue from the volcano for days or possibly weeks. The monitoring team will continue to collect data to understand the pattern of eruption. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting. Residents of St. Lucia are being asked to open up their homes to Vincentians wishing to find shelter following their displacement by the eruption of the Lucia volcano there. Following a NEMAC meeting on Friday, Prime Minister Alan Shasney addressed the nation and updated the country on how it plans to assist the evacuees. Shasney says that Vincentians will be accommodated for 3 months in the first instance. With some 16,000 people being displaced by the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano on Friday, St. Lucia is preparing itself to receive evacuees. An initial 300 people will potentially be assisted for an initial 3-month period. Prime Minister Chasney urged St. Lucians to avail themselves to accommodate those in need.
It is our intention to try to create a room bank here in St. Lucia. What we would like to do, and certainly in the many calls I have received, many St. Lucians are willing to take Vincentians into their homes. So we are setting up a structure that will be available on Monday for any St. Lucian family that wants to accommodate a Vincentian family. The NEMO, along with the Hotels Association and our command center, will determine what that criteria is, so that once your home meets that criteria, then you would qualify for facilitating. Certainly, I know many of you have family members and very dear friends in St. Vincent, and you may make your own arrangements. So it means that simply those persons coming over would have to be tested by the Ministry of Health, and then it would be facilitated to get to your home as quickly as possible.
Chasney says the decision to not use schools as shelters is twofold.
We are intending to recommence our schools on the 19th of April. And it would be a great disruption if we were to use our schools as we normally would as shelters. And truth be told, those shelters would only be available for a short period of time because they don't have the necessary services to accommodate people for a very long time. And under the current circumstances, and understanding Mother Nature to the extent that we do, she doesn't really reveal to us how long the volcano is going to be in this particular status. So we have to prepare for at least 3 months of accommodation in the first instance. It may end up being shorter and it may end up being longer, but I think that if we start with a goal of 3 months, that would be a safe estimation initially. Means that when those families come over here, in addition to being fed, which we would be in a position to assist in, we also want to make sure that the children who can go to school can go to school. We want to make sure that they can avail themselves to the healthcare services that we have here in St. Lucia.
Families north of Dennery and Soufrière are asked to consider accommodating Vincentian families. The district medical officer at the Ministry of Health has advised the public on what they should do in the event the island is affected by ash from the eruptions of the La Soufrière volcano. Based on St. Lucia's geographic location, the south of the island could be severely affected by the ash. The medical professional says that as a result, the public should be well versed on what they should do to protect themselves.
As the situation with the La Soufrière volcano continues to unravel, concern continues to mount in St. Lucia over the possibility of ashfall on the island. Members of the public are being asked to exercise caution and be on high alert, as well as prepare for the eventuality. District Medical Officer at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Delphina Vernon, explains that patients who have respiratory ailments need to be the most careful.
Patients living with chronic respiratory conditions such as asthma, bronchitis, and COPD, as well as those with acute conditions, including COVID-19, should be particularly careful during this time. Their conditions could be exacerbated due to the irritants in the air. Some of the measures that can be taken would be to stay indoors as much as possible, so to avoid going outside and further exposing yourself. You can keep irritants out by closing your doors and windows while you are inside. We have been wearing masks for a while now, and we should continue to do so to reduce inhalation of the irritant particles and fumes, which may trigger allergic-type reactions and exacerbation of existing conditions.
Members of the public are advised that they should stay indoors, ensure that all windows and doors are closed and secured by using tape on windows and damp cloth in cracks at doors. Dr. Vernon explained that if one absolutely must venture out, they need to dress appropriately. She explained at this point, mask wearing is even more crucial.
Ensure that you are well clothed to prevent irritation to the skin, and you should wear goggles or sunglasses to protect your eyes. You should avoid wearing contacts as this may enhance the irritation to your eyes. One other thing is to ensure you have adequate amounts of your medication, especially if you have asthma, COPD, or another chronic condition, and also some antihistamine, which would help to combat any allergic type reactions.
In the event that volcanic ash does begin falling, the public is also being advised not to panic. Individuals are also being advised to stock up on essential items and enough drinking water to last up to at least 72 hours. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzaga.
The St. Lucia Water and Sewage Company, WASCO, has announced that it has heightened its monitoring and surveillance in the south in light of the volcanic activity in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Many concerns have been expressed as to the possible impact of the ashfall on the water supply. The Communications and Marketing Officer at WASCO, Sherrian Williams, explained that this is in an effort to ensure that the water sources are safe.
This is because of the fact that our raw water sources may be impacted by volcanic ash from this eventuality in St. Vincent. Many of our systems are, of course, exposed to the elements, and that is why we are taking the necessary action right now in order to minimize any sort of impact that volcanic ash can have on our water supply. Volcanic ash contains high levels of minerals that can affect the water's pH as well as turbidity levels. And in order to address any accumulation of turbidity or any increases in the pH levels in water, WASCO's response will include the flushing of any affected system to remove any contaminants, as well as a review of our treatment process wherever necessary.
Williams says at this point, customers too must play their part and conserve as much water as possible in the event that the water company has to shut down its controls due to ash.
In order for us to conduct a flushing exercise, it would mean that we would have to shut down our water system. And while the effects of any shutdown of the water system is not lost on WASCO, especially as the dry season progresses, customers are encouraged to ensure that they have adequate storage in case our control systems need to be activated. So we want to urge customers, we want to encourage customers to conserve water, enough water, as much as possible, so that they do not have to be inconvenienced if we have to shut down the water supply at any point.
Customers are being urged to be as economical as possible with water, as to not become further inconvenienced if no running water is available. WASCO is also reminding the public that they are in the dry season and conservation should be a must. And stay with us till to come. The Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, has died. Dr. Pauline Prosper appeals to residents in the south following La Soufrière eruption, and the SLMBA says it stands ready to assist St. Vincent.